Piacere, visitor. You are about to embark on a journey of discovery through the rich and fascinating history of classical Greece. You'll become fully immersed in the painstakingly detailed world built for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which you are free to explore at your own pace, without any danger or time pressure. For a directed experience, take one of the many guided tours curated by prominent historians and archaeologists. Along the way, exchange words with some of Greece's most famous historical persons. The classical Greece you are about to explore is at the peak of its glory. This period is synonymous with grand accomplishments of the physical and the mental. Architectural marvels which still stand today dot its landscape, while towering achievements in philosophy, political systems, and art still influence our modern society in profound ways. We hope you become engrossed in the dazzling riches of ancient Greece and welcome you to your visit.
Αδύνατον εστί.
Πίσω με δάνειο είναι αδύναμα από ποιοτικούς στόχους. Εξίσταμε του φρονίμ. Συναλλάσσεται στο τέρμα της οδού. Μη εστί ο γείτονος. Αδύνατον εστί.
Greetings, wanderer, and welcome to the Akropolis, the shining jewel of Athens. My name is Aspasia. Though I am not originally from Athens, I have climbed to the top of its social ladder using my wit and intellect. I've even earned the love of Pericles, one of the most powerful men in the city. The mind truly is a beautiful thing. Personally, I think the Acropolis is one of, if not the, greatest place in all of Greece. Though, considering it was the project of my partner, Pericles, I may be a touch biased. The Acropolis of Athens is a bastion of art and culture worthy of the gods themselves. Within this citadel, you will find many important sacred buildings, as well as some of the most magnificent art in all of Greece. You are in for a very enlightening visit. When you're done, come find me, and we can discuss the things you have seen. Farewell for now.
The Acropolis has gone through many changes in its long history. It began as a simple rock, was settled as early as the Neolithic period, and then became a fortress in the Mycenaean period. Stone buildings started appearing in the 7th century BCE. But the famous structures whose ruins remain visible today date mainly from a period of construction in the 5th century BCE. The location of the Acropolis is closely tied with Athens' foundation myth. Supposedly, it was the site where Athena and Poseidon competed for the city's patronage. This connection gave the Acropolis a sacred aura, and it was considered the religious heart of the city.
Ότι λόγω ανυπέχεις των πράξεών σου. Τι έχεις ανυπήν περί ευθύνης. Ο γιος μου βαρέα τραύματα φέρει. Πεφόβητε μη εξέλθει και ελάχι συναντήσεων πάλι τούτης. Που πέβηθε ούτε μη ουδαμός. Λιθοκόπο ύβρον των πεδίων.
The Acropolis has... gone through many changes in its long... It began stone...
Arrivato tutto vanismo e
The Temple of Athena Nike was built on the remains of old fortifications from the Mycenaean era. Worship at the temple can be traced back to the 6th century BCE, but the building itself was destroyed during the Greco-Persian Wars a century later. It was rebuilt during the Peloponnesian War. Given that the name Athena Nike roughly means Athena of victory, it was likely constructed in the hopes that Athens would win the war. Unusually, the temple depicts historical scenes of battles against the Persians instead of the more mythologically inclined art of other Greek buildings. The temple's priestess was chosen randomly among the Athenians and received a salary of 50 drachmae annually, along with skins and trophies from sacrificed animals.
παριστάνε το άλγος αυτό. Τι αλλού ευρίσκεται η γνώση η μη πάρεξη, ότι ο εκπαιδευτικών και οδυρμών άλεγγι των δεδομένων, οδούς ιστίως περίφερον ο εκπαιδευτικός.
Ο ηχέφρον αναγνωρίζει τούτο εστί το όργανο.
Sophocles.
The Acropolis was built up over a long period, due in no small part to its partial destruction during the Greco-Persian Wars. It was in the 5th century BCE, though, that the Acropolis received its most significant improvements. This period was an extremely prosperous time for Athens, both financially and culturally. With a booming economy bolstered by trade and the Lavrion silver mines, Pericles, the leader of Athens, financed a huge project to rebuild the citadel. He enlisted the help of renowned artists, like the sculptor Phidias, as well as the architects Iktinos and Callicrates. Together, they erected buildings like the Parthenon and the Propylaea Gateway. Pericles' goal was to make the Acropolis into a glorious monument to the gods and to mortal Athenians.
Μόνο όταν το επιχείρημα δομείται πιστικών, τότε δύναται εν κερδάνε. Μιας και ως αύριον εγγυήσει ότι ισχύει ως αστεία.
Αρχίσαν το πρώτο εγκλήματα το πρώτο ροπίδι. Ο αυτής παγιού.
Η τραγωδία κινείται μεταξύ τριών βαθμίδων. Δύσιν εκτιμήσε δεόντως το...
Δηλαδή παριστάνε το άλγος αυτόν. Τι αλλού έβρισκεται η γνώσης και μη πάρεξ ότι ο εχέφρον δεν ενεργεί επιπλά.
Μεγαλώνουμε και πουλιώνουμε. Επικαλούμεσαι, μάκα, Πολιώνει με επικαλούμε σε μάκαρ φυλαγορών ελεύθερη αδρυμονή.
Τραγωδία ανέρεσης εστί. Εστί μιασμός μικιόμενος ή να κλονίσει την ισορροπία του πνεύματος.
Behind the Propylaea was the giant bronze statue of Athena Promachos, or Athena who fights on the front lines. That name was reflected in the spear and shield the statue held in its hands. It was erected in the mid-5th century BCE by the artist Phidias. According to an inscription, it took 9 years to make and cost almost 500,000 drachmae. At approximately 10 meters tall, the statue was apparently so large that Pausanias claimed its helmet and spear tip could be seen from the sea near Cape Sunion, 60 kilometers away. The ornamentation on the statue's shield was engraved by the metalsmith Mies.
Τραγωδία διαφθείρει τους νέους και ούτε οι καταμαλθακίζουν.
Πολιώνει με πυρίπολε και τελετάρια.
The Araphoroi were young girls between the ages of 7 and 11 who were in charge of special rites. A list of 4 girls was drafted by the Assembly of Citizens, from which the High Magistrate, the Archon Basileus, chose 2 to serve as Araphoroi for the year. The girls lived in a house on the Akropolis. They were in charge of carrying sacred objects and weaving the peplos of Athena. The peplos was a sacred robe offered to Athena during Panathenaea, a festival held in her honor.
Επικαλούμε σε μάκαρ, πολιώνυμε, πυρίπολε και τελετάρχα, Θεόν πάτερ ιδέ και ιέ, σκυπτούχε, κούρε δημάτορ, βοτριόκος με οδηγέ των...
Ο νους εστιός περκείται. Ο ευθύνης εστιός περιπλευρέ του κυπέλου έκλεις κλειδώσει ευμετάβολος.
καθ' αυτό εστί η ιστορία ταύτη. Ο εχέφρον μόνον όταν το επιχείρημα δομείται.
Λαγρότη και λυτηρία, δαιμονίδης και πρωτών ελπίδα, ελθέ, πατέσεις ωραίους τριμμούς, ελθέ.
The Erechtheion was an atypical temple. It was dedicated not only to Athena Polias, but also to Kekrops, the mythical founder of Athens, his son Erechtheos, and even Poseidon, the sea god who challenged Athena for possession of the city. The temple was divided into sections. The eastern part housed a statue dedicated to Athena, while the western section jointly belonged to Poseidon and Erechtheos. Meanwhile, King Kekrop's grave was believed to be under the caryatid porch. Under the temple was a crypt that was said to contain the sacred snakes of Athena. The snakes may have had a sweet tooth because the priestesses of Athena allegedly fed them honey cakes. The Erechtheion, it was dedicated not only to the temple, divided into sections. The east under The Parthenon is one of the most well-known buildings in the world and an enduring symbol of ancient Greek civilization. While it is located on the Akropolis, the building is not a traditional temple. It was built by the sculptor Phidias and the architects Callicrates and Ictinus as a great monument to the glory of the city of Athens. That glory is evident in its many carvings. One of the most carved monuments in Greek architecture, the Parthenon's decorations depict several mythological scenes. These include the birth of Athena, her fight against Poseidon for the patronage of Athens, the gods' battle with the giants, and the procession of the great Panathenaea. The Parthenon's inner chamber, or cella, contained a massive statue of Athena that was considered to be one of the sculptor Phidias's greatest masterpieces. The statue was chryselephantine, a combination of gold and ivory. To justify the steep cost of its construction, Pericles told Athenians that the statue was a gold reserve, which could be disassembled in times of economic distress. The cella also allegedly contained a pool, whose main purpose was to control the room's humidity, which helped preserve the statue's ivory. The Parthenon's inner chamber or cella contained a step to justify the cell. The Parthenon. One of the most... It was... That one... These include...
Αυτή προσεδέκτη ταύτα προς χάριν σου και νυν τιμητέας.
Θα έχω ευποδία και ημί καλή φωνή. Ο πατήρ μου έλεγε
Athens' treasury was located in the Parthenon, where it was believed to be protected by Athena herself. The treasury contained objects of great value, acquired from different conquests, as well as a mass of minted silver coins and various offerings to Athena. Pericles also decided to move the entirety of the Delian League's treasure to the Parthenon in 454 BCE. This was a great testament to Athens' power over the rest of Greece. The riches were divided into two parts, the Demosia, which belonged to the city, and the Hiera Cremata, which was dedicated to the goddess and only used for religious purposes.
And what did you think of the Acropolis? It truly is quite something, isn't it? A sacred sanctuary and an architectural marvel, all in one. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You're confident enough for a test? Very well. Let us see how much you know. Which two gods competed for Athens' patronage? Correct. It was Poseidon and Athena who fought for Athens' patronage. As for who won, the answer is in the city's name. On to the next question. Who sculpted the statue of Athena in the Parthenon? Correct. The renowned sculptor Phidias made the statue, which was considered one of his masterpieces. And now, the final question. Which king's tomb was believed to be under the caryatid porch? Leonidas was a Spartan king. He would not have been buried in Athens. Try again. I'm afraid not. Menelaus was known for two things: marrying Helen of Troy and going to war when she left him for the beautiful Paris. Try another answer. That is correct. Cecrops was the mythological first king of Athens, and his tomb was said to be under the Erechtheion. It seems you know much about this place. Well done, wanderer. As you wish. Hopefully we will see each other again soon.